So for this next one, I'm just going to go ahead and set up the next scene. So it's going to be game object, UI, and we'll just do a text. And on this, I'm just going to hold Alt and Shift. I'm going to make it to the top. And position, we'll do -50. And actually, I'm going to select the camera. I'm going to go ahead and make this white again, because white's a nice bright thing. Move back to the text here, and I'm going to change the text, make sure it's centered, and I'm going to say sugar gliders live up to 15 years with an exclamation point. And I'm going to extend the width so that there's enough for it to support the thing there. So yay, there we go. Select the canvas again, game object, UI, and I'm going to do a button. And same thing as before, this is just going to be my next button. Hold Alt and Shift, click on this bottom right, and back up here, and basically my position here is going to be -50 and 50, and then 100, 100, and the text is going to be just next. There. Okay, so that's all set up. That's good. And actually, while we're at it, might as well just finish that button while we're at it. So I'm just going to go to my scripts, and I'm going to make a new, create an empty game object. I'm going to name it game controller, and we'll go ahead and throw the menu script on there. Open that back up. Yada, yada, yada. And this is just going to load the next level. So copy this, Control C, Control V, and load level 5. And 5, Control S, minimize this, go back to game controller, sorry, not the game controller, go to button, and we are just going to go ahead and make a new thing, slap the game controller onto that, and it's going to be the menu script and load level 5. Okay, so good, and we'll just make sure we save this again, and good. So now what we're going to do is I'm just going to make a slider that basically shows the age of the sugar glider getting older. Okay, so go to assets, sprites. I'm going to drop them in here, and we'll just go like this, and I want my other half to be this, and here we go. So I got from here to here, and I'm going to drop them in here. Boom, 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 and you can see the guys right here. Yay. All right, so what I'm going to have to do, or what I'm going to do, is actually make an animation. And this is going to be kind of a weird thing to make, but it should work okay. And you could do this with a lot of different things. So let's go ahead and make the animation. So what I'm going to do is go over here, and I'm going to grab just the first one here. So it's this guy. I'm going to drop him up here. All right, and I'm okay with that. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to go to animation. I'm going to create a new one. And, oops, cancel. Before I do that, I'm going to make in the project folder, I'm going to make a new folder. And this is going to be animations. Okay, good. And then now I will go onto this, and we'll go to animation, create, and animations. And we're going to go sugar life, right? Because it's the sugar life expectancy. Save. Great, we're going to add a property to this, and it's going to be the sprite renderer, and I'm going to change the sprite. That's the thing that's going to change. So we're going to go there. I'm going to go to my next frame. I'm just going to click in here, up here. Come on, double click. There it goes. And then you can see it's in recording mode. So now, while I made a key here, I'm going to go up to this and change the sprite to sprite 2. Double click on that, changes it. I'm going to double click here. I'm going to go over here. Make sure I slide my slider to the key. And I'm going to go over here, and it's going to be life 3. Slide it over, double click. Slider 4. Slide it over. Oops, sorry. Double click, slide that over. And we're going to go to 5. Okay, go over here, double click. And then we will go to 6. Okay. So good. So I have the full range here. So this is basically my animation. And I'm going to delete this key. And then it's only this here. Okay, so there's the animation that I have. And that is great. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn off the record button. If I hit play right now, you're going to see it's just going to go, whoa, 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 whoa. It's just going to fly through them. Okay, which is obviously not what I want. All right. Now what we're going to do is, on the Sugar Life, it automatically makes an animator. And that's basically how we're going to control this. I'm going to need to add a UI element. That's a slider, and I'll put it down here. So I'm going to go to Game Object. I'm going to select my canvas first, just to make sure it doesn't make a new one. UI, and we're going to do a slider. Yeah, slider. And it's right here, so I'm going to go up here, Alt-Shift, and I'm going to go to the bottom. Then, oops, back up here. I'm going to take my position, and we'll go up to, like, I don't know, we'll do 25, we'll say. 25. And I'm going to, we'll just double the size of this. So I'm just going to go 2 by 2, just to make it nice and large. Okay, good. That all looks fine and dandy. That's really all I kind of need. So now what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to make a script that's basically going to control this. So I'm going to go to Scripts, make a new script, Create, JavaScript, and we are going to call this Sugar Life Scrubber Script. Okay, we'll double click on it a couple times so it opens up. Bam. Okay, Sugar Life Scrubber Script. So in my start function, well, this is actually going to be using the UI, so I have to import a special class into this, which is the Unity Engine.ui. Okay, and then I'm gonna make some variables. I'm a variable for that's gonna hold the slider position. All right, slider position, and it's just gonna be a float. So the slider's position goes from 0 to 1. Okay, that's the normalized value. So float, and then we're gonna do a variable slider object, which is gonna hold the actual slider itself, and that is of a type that is a slider. Okay, that's this type that it is. And then we're going to have one last one, which is variable, and that's the life animator, which is going to control the animation. It's going to make it play or not. Bam. Okay, so on the start, right off the bat, I'm going to take my life animator variable, and I'm just going to basically assign it the component, the animator component of this object. Okay, so I'm going to assign it actually to the sugar glider here, because this has the animator component. So it's going to be animator, and boom, and doop. Okay, so that's basically going to assign it to like animator, and that's going to allow me to adjust this. And then I'm having update, which is basically going to run every real frame. And I'm going to say the slider position is going to be equal to the slider, oops, right here, slider object. It's not equal to it. I'm assigning it the value of the slider object dot value. Okay. And then we are also going to do life animator dot play. All right, and that's just a function, or a method, I should say. When it's inside of an object, it's a method, not a function that's built inside of it. Dot play, and I want it to play the sugar life. Okay, which is actually not what I named it. What did I name it? I do not remember what I named that script or that animation. Oh, I did name it Sugar Life. Oh, good. Okay, Sugar Life. That was the name of the animation. That's what I called it. Oops. And I'm going to say it's going to go from 0, and then it's going to be slider position. Slider POS. All right. Good. And we will save that. I'm going to minimize it. Hope for no errors. See, it's not possible to invoke an expression of type float. So it says 18. It's upset about this. So slider position, slider object dot value. Ugh. Oh, for some reason I put parentheses on this. This is not a this is a property, not a function or a method. Control S. Okay, let's go back here. Come on. All right, good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my script here and I'm going to attach it to this guy here. And you can see I need the slider object, which is this. I'm going to plop that in there, and I need the life animator, but it's automatically going to get that from that. Just so you get an idea too, when I select the slider, you can see this min and max value. When I grab this, let's see. Oh, it's not going to work. If I move this though, you can see it there. It only is going to do it in real time. So now when I move it, you'll see it's connected. Now the one problem I run into, and I'm not 100% sure why this is happening, is that it goes back to death again. So all you really got to do is the max value, I'm going to change to 0.99. And that way it's incapable of getting to the end. Like it won't get to that thing. All right, so just to get an idea of what the script is actually doing. We import the UI. In order to interact with this UI component, I need to have that imported. I have a variable that holds the slider current position, really. One that actually holds the slider itself, and then one that holds the animator. And all I do is I make sure that I can use that animator here. Like I just store it inside this variable. And then the update, all I do is I say, okay, take the current slider position and assign it the value of the slider object. Okay, so the slide, whatever the value is coming out of this, put that in there. So it just stores that number, which is between 0 and 1, into this. And then what I do is I say, okay, in the animator, I want you to play the sugar life from 0 to the current slider position, which is actually, between that range, basically, from 0 to this. So it normalizes the values, because I actually have, if I made it exactly what it was, it goes from 0 to 5 seconds or whatever, or 5 frames. So that wouldn't really work well for me. All right, so that is good. And so that works. So now I have a thing that you can just kind of slide, and you can see like they start off as babies, then they're in adolescence, they go into business, they become middle-aged sad people like myself, then they get old, and then they die. And that's life. Circle of life, people. All right. And that is it. So I'm just going to save that, and I'm going to go ahead and do File, New Scene. And I'm going to save this, Control-Shift-S or Command-Shift-S, depending on what you're using. And we'll save this one as 5. All right. And we will carry it on from here. Okay. So, good.